I just want to pay tribute to Michael Foot. His death, really sad news, even if not that surprising given his age, and he's not been well for a while. But I'm particularly sad actually because Fiona went to see him recently with Neil Kinnock, and I was away and couldn't go, and I think Fiona knew when she came back. We talked about it. He was clearly quite infirm by then. But I know the tributes will all focus on Michael the politician, the minister, the leader, the orator, great writer as well, not to be forgotten. But I just hope that through it all, people remember he was a really, really lovely man. He's somebody who, he always had very, very strong opinions, but he was always able to understand the opinions of others. He was incredibly well read, lively to the end. And in fact, Fiona was reminding me this morning that last summer, a 16-year-old from one of our local schools where our boys went was doing an essay about Orwell, and just asked Fiona off chance if she thought that Michael Foot might see him, because he was such an expert on Orwell, his life and his writings. And of course Michael, absolutely thrilled, took an hour, sat out drinking tea in the garden and just talked through what he knew about Orwell, what he remembered, and ended up giving this boy a book to take away with him, because Michael's house was just this treasure trove of wonderful books and wonderful memories. And I know that when Jill, his wife, died, I think a lot of us thought that, would Michael really be able to cope? They were so strong together, they were so kind of mutually dependent, but he found this strength, and he kept going, and he kept his passions and his interests right to the end. And he was very infirm, and I remember the last time he came round to our house for lunch, he couldn't really walk and had to be sort of helped the whole time. But when he got into conversation, was on top of the detail of all the big debates, and really knew what he was on about, and strong opinions, and of course loved talking about the here and now as well as talking about the past. And it was wonderful to sit and listen to him talk about the past. I remember once asking him whether the Wilson cabinets were really as divided as the history book suggested, and he said, oh, far worse than that, far worse than that. And of course, if you were on a sort of old New Labour ometer, as it were, Michael maybe would be closer to the old, but he was phenomenally proud of the fact that the Labour Party won 3 general elections. And every conversation you ever had with him, it was about what was happening now, and could we win the election again, and taking on the Tories. And he never, ever lost that passion for Labour and for Labour politics. And he was just a really, really, really lovely man. And obviously it's sad that he's died, but I think everybody would recognise it was a long life, well lived. And I hope that part of him, his basic decency, his humanity, is what people remember, as well as all the huge contribution that he made to British politics.